In a world where carbs are your enemy, you need one man to help you fight your battles. That man is Jimmy.
Combating nutrition disinformation and general bull. It's Jimmy Rants. JimmyRants.com.
What's up? I've done this a million times and I've never flubbed up the what's up, you guys. Welcome back. But I just did. Isn't that my luck that I would flub that up? Let's try that again. What's up, you guys? Welcome back to another Instagram Live. Except today we're not doing a Jimmy Rants. Today is a momentous day, and if you guys follow my work, you know why today is a momentous day. Because today I am releasing my ninth book. I have to let that sink in sometimes because there's a lot of people that hope to write one book someday. And I know what a great privilege it is that I've been able to not only write one book, but 9 books now. And of course, the first 2 were self-published, but after that, I've been able to write pretty much a book a year every single year since 2013. So every single year since 2013, I've had a brand new book. There was one year there was no books, but then last year there was 2 books to make up for it. So I wanted to come on here. Here's the book, by the way. The new one is called Keto Clarity Cookbook. And that is what it looks like right here, right now. My co-author on it, Heather Rushin, has incredible recipes, you guys. The thing I love about Heather so much is she's all about real food ingredients. And don't you hate it when you get a cookbook and then it says use 1 teaspoon of this ingredient you ain't never heard of before, and it costs $50 on Amazon, and you're going, what am I going to do with the rest of this, you know? None of that in Keto Clarity Cookbook. It's literally any food you could buy in a local store. And so again, Keto Clarity Cookbook, if you're just joining us, I'm going to open the floor to you guys. What do you want to know about it? That it releases today, by the way. So go to Barnes & Noble, Books A Million, Amazon, wherever you buy books. This book is now available for purchase. If you want to get it on Amazon, just go to KetoClarityCookBook.com. It'll take you right to the link that will get you a Kindle ebook or the paper book that I'm holding right now. So we wanted to create a book that wasn't just another book in the keto space. We wanted to do some interesting things. Well, you guys know if I'm putting Keto Clarity in the title, that it's going to look very similar in style to what people that bought the original Keto Clarity would recognize. So we have brand new moment of clarity quotes. A lot of people love that about the original book that I wrote 5 years ago. And they're like, hey, you're going to do that again? Absolutely. That's one of the hallmarks of Keto Clarity and of the Clarity series was having those moment of clarity quotes. So we got various people in the keto space to be experts again. And we got brand new ones that weren't in the last one because, quite frankly, they weren't really around in the keto world when I first wrote Keto Clarity. So you got Dr. Will Cole. And then there's a new guy you may not know about, but he's amazing, Dr. Gus Vickery. If you watch Jimmy Rants, then you know that's the guy that Christine and I have been going to see to run some numbers and get a little bit deeper. He's really amazing. Of course, the amazing Dr. Ken Berry, Dr. Ryan Lowry, Dr. Eric Westman, who was my co-author on Keto Clarity. And I said, Eric, you want to be a part of the cookbook as an expert? He's like, absolutely. So that was fun. And then another newcomer to the crowd, Dr. Tony Hampton. So really great moment of clarity experts. And as you'll quickly see, it'll be very familiar to fans of Keto Clarity. We got the little magnifying glass moment of clarity quote. So if you remember me reading the audiobook for Keto Clarity, moment of clarity quote, Dr. Gus Vickery. And I've even joked in my head, okay, this is a cookbook. We don't need an audiobook, but there's front matter in there that if I read the audio for the front matter, it probably would be maybe 2 to 3 hours worth of me reading. Obviously, we wouldn't sell that, but I wonder, is that something that people would want if I record, not when I have a snotty nose like I do right now, but when I have a clear voice, would that be something that would be a nice premium to offer? I don't know. You guys tell me. So we also, for familiarity purposes, kept the whole KETO acronym. So this is the original one that was in Keto Clarity. Keep carbs low, eat more fat, test ketones often, and overdoing protein is bad. But what we did in the new one, you guys, is each of the chapters we have, like eating low carbs, the foundation of it all, we have a brand new KETO acronym to help solidify what was in that particular chapter. So this eating low carb is the foundation of it all. We have KETO. K, know your sensitivity to carbs. E, eat mostly green leafy non-starchy vegetables. T, try to incorporate fermented veggies. And O, omit whole grains and refined carbohydrates. So we have a brand new KETO for each of these chapters in the Keto Clarity cookbook. So obviously we have a chapter on low carb. We have another one on why keto is not a high protein diet, it's a moderate protein diet. We got another one about welcome to the dark side of eating healthy high fat. And then some of the newer content that I've incorporated into my work in the recent years, and it's definitely in cahoots with my co-author, Heather Russian. She's Heather's Real Food, by the way, here on Instagram. She's all about real food. My last book was called Real Food Keto. So we had a whole chapter just on optimizing your diet by using real whole foods. And then finally, we couldn't let a book like this go by without also acknowledging so many of the lifestyle factors that are involved. When you're trying to pursue ketosis, people always put the onus directly on the food, and the food has a major impact, don't get me wrong. But people are like, well, I'm not in ketosis and I'm eating very low carb, moderate protein, high fat. I just don't understand. And if it's a woman, okay, let's kind of dance this dance a little bit. Are you on your time of the month? Yes. You're going to lose ketones. That's just what happens. If it's anybody, are you stressed? Yes. Well, guess what? That is the biggest ketosis killer there is, non-diet ketosis killer. You might as well be eating carbs if you're going to have your body under a chronic state of stress. So there's so many factors, and we talked about that in this chapter. And then, of course, we get to the food part. And the fun thing is my co-author, Heather, is so incredible, you guys. We came up with these weekly meal plans as well. So you get 4 weeks worth of meal plans, just a general keto meal plan. And check it out. It has pictures of everything you're going to be eating all throughout the week. It's got pictures of all of those recipes along with the page number of where the recipe is, and then a detailed list of all the ingredients that you buy when you go to the store so that you can have a shopping list to know what to buy. So that's for 4 weeks worth. Have the meal plan and the shopping list. Then there is a 4-week dairy-free meal plan. So there's a lot of dairy-free recipes in here, you guys. And Heather's husband is actually allergic to nuts. So she doesn't keep a lot of them in her own house. So she doesn't do a lot of recipe development with nuts. So she said it's 98% nut free. I think there's 1 or 2 of the recipes in the entire book that include nuts. All the rest of them are nut free. So pretty amazing. Now, you guys know I'm eating keto carnivore. Look at that recipe that is right there at the beginning. Oh, man, my stomach just growled a little bit seeing that big old piece of slab of meat. Okay, let me get to the controversial part of this book, because you're probably going to hear about this out there online. And it's something that Heather and I had a strong conviction about. She said, Jimmy, what do we do with the macronutrients? I said, what do you want to do? She said, I don't want to put them in there. I said, neither do I. Because I think we've gotten to the point with keto that we've overcomplicated things. So what can you do to simplify this diet for people so they get away from obsessing about macronutrients and macronutrient ratios and getting your calories, blah, 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 blah. Both Heather and I have come to the conclusion that you can eliminate a lot of that unnecessary stress that comes to keto when you remove the boundaries that keep you stuck in diet mode. And when you count macros, when you count calories, that's all you're doing, is staying in dieting mode. Now, I get it. People brand new to this, never been involved in this before. Maybe there's benefit for a period of time for them to count just to make sure they're on the straight and narrow, because there are people that come to keto and then they think oatmeal isn't carbs, so they don't count it and blah, 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 all this stuff. But Heather and I say the macros paralyze a lot of people. And so if they do that, why put them in a cookbook? I know every single cookbook you've ever gotten in the keto space has always had the macros and the calories and all this. But ours doesn't. You're going to see it very clearly. There is 0 macros at the bottom. It's just a blank page at the bottom. And I don't want you to freak out about that. We know this is a bold move. We know we're going to get some 1-star reviews, by the way, on Amazon. So if you get the book and you like it, can you give us some love? Because we're going to have to offset a bunch of 1-star reviews because of that lack of information. But we felt strongly about this, that this was the right thing to do, leaving off the macros and leaving off the calories, because we don't want you thinking about that. We want you thinking about all that delicious, beautiful, gorgeous food that you get to enjoy when you eat keto. Now, Heather and I obviously are very strong keto advocates. Every single recipe fits the template of what we talked about in the front matter. It's low carb, it's moderate protein, it's high fat. And if it fits that template and you let your mind go of all those supposed rules and regulations you've ever had when you've been on a diet before, and you simply eat and eat intuitively, eat to your full, satisfied, enjoyable, that's what we need to get to. So hopefully we start a trend with Keto Clarity Cookbook. They don't have to worry about the macros. Now, for those of you that obsess about macros and it keeps you on the straight and narrow and you love counting every little morsel, guess what? There's an app for that. So go plug it into your favorite carb manager, whatever you use, chronometer, whatever you use to track food and your intake of macronutrients and calories. Knock yourself out. We give you every single ingredient that you use in the recipe, and you can just plug in those ingredients right into one of those apps, and it'll spit out all that stuff for you. But we just felt so strongly that part of the problem in keto is people obsess way too much about the macronutrients. So why don't we do something bold? Why don't we get rid of them? I know, it's a risk. We were debating back and forth about this, but I think at the end of the day, both Heather and I had such a strong conviction about this that we couldn't help but leave out the macronutrients. So if you're just joining us, we are celebrating. Today is the momentous release day of my 9th book. 9th book on nutrition, you guys, called Keto Clarity Cookbook. It's the first book for my co-author, Heather Russian. So Please show Heather some love at Heather's Real Food here on Instagram. This is a big day for her because I've gotten to do this 9 times now, and it's still exciting for me. But for her, her very first one, and she's nervous about it, and it's a Jimmy Moore book, so I don't want to disappoint him. So it's just all that kind of emotion that's tied up in your very first release like this. So go show some love to Heather. She did a bang up job, you guys. And again, I'm going to kind of do a little flash through so you can ooh la la at all the recipes that she came up with. Just beautiful food photography. I just could not have been prouder at how this stuff came out. She's just an amazing recipe developer, incredible food photographer. I mean, my stomach, every time I'm looking at these recipes, my stomach just goes because it was that good. All right, I'm going to see what you guys want to know about Keto Clarity Cookbook. It released today. So what do you guys have on your mind? What questions do you have about this book? Thanks for all the congratulations, you guys. Berkeley says, getting out to look for it today. So yeah, the day of the release is always tricky because I've gone into stores the day of release because author, you want to see your book in the store. So like a Barnes & Noble, a Books A Million, whatever your bookstore is that's close to you, to see if they carry it. And it's not always out. Sometimes it's in their back room and they don't care when they put it out. Another book. But it's a brand new book. You might have to ask for it if you don't see it on the shelf. So don't be bashful. If you don't see Keto Clarity Cookbook on the shelf, they can look it up in their system. And if they have it in their system, then it should be in their back if they haven't put it out yet. Sometimes they'll say, well, we don't have it at this store, but we could get it transferred from another store. And so that's how they can get it to you. Of course, the easiest way, you guys, and I hate to say it this way because I hate to take away sales and stuff from local bookstores, but Amazon's really the easiest way to get the books. If you have Amazon Prime, then you're able to order today and get it in 2 days. And if you order the Kindle today, you've got it on your Kindle or your iPad or wherever you read audio or read ebooks. You get it today. So either way, I benefit as an author exactly the same regardless of how you get it. So go get it. KetoClarityCookbook.com. B96 Woodward, I'm so excited to get my cookbook today. I pre-ordered over a month ago. Well, today is the day. Thank you so much for your order. Keto for Real Life People, I'm currently writing my first book and I hope to have it finished soon. It's a very much a labor of love and quite challenging. Yeah, people are like, oh, books are easy to, just write. How hard is that? People that have never written a book before don't understand the unique stress that is book writing. Even when it's something you're passionate about, even when it's something you have a lot to say about, there is a certain element of added stress that you just don't know about till you do it. And you've heard me talk about it. You've heard other people in the author space talk about it. Writing health books is not healthy. That's the best way I can put it. Promoting a health book like I am today, this is healthy because it's fun. You get to do this is the pay dirt for all that angst and stress that you went through. This is the payoff. This is why you do it. Because this now, the baby's out in the world, people can go check it out. And so I wish you luck on getting your book done, Keto for Real Life People. And yes, it is more hard than people realize. Congratulations, Jimmy and Heather. Thank you, Val. Pammy says, I've got to order this today. It looks amazing. I'm biased, so of course I'm going to say it's amazing, but it really is amazing. I mean, look at that cover, you guys. That is one of my most gorgeous covers I think I've ever had, and I've had some pretty covers. I loved Real Food Keto's cover. I loved the Ketogenic Cookbook cover. There's something about that kind of white background, and then to have the food, and it just makes it pop. I do love this cookbook cover. But that's the good news about what my publisher Victory Belt, they're really good at making book covers. And so, and even the back cover, you have the simplicity of it and they have like a little ice cream. But let's see. I can't wait to get my copy today from Canada. Oh, Canada. Purple Owl Stitches, thank you for that. By the way, Christine and I are both coming to Canada, Toronto, Ontario, Canada, for an event. I want to say the date is like August 17th, whatever that Saturday is in like mid-August. I think it's August 17th. So we're coming into the Great Canadian Keto Conference. I have been asked to be the MC of the event. And so it's pretty much going to be our last big event before we go away on 6-month sabbatical. So if you live in Canada, or if you don't live in Canada and you just want to go to Toronto, we are going to be there. I'm going to give a talk. Christine's going to give a talk, and there's going to be a variety of other people giving talks. And again, I get to MC the whole event. So if you live in Canada, I want to see you. Can't wait for mine to come today, says Heather. Thank you. Keto for Real Life People audio bonus track. That's an awesome perk. Yeah, it would be easy for me to read it. I mean, I could sit here and just go through and read like I've read millions of, it feels like millions, of words in audiobook before. This is not hard. And we're only talking right at 41 pages to read. So it might not even be 2 hours. It might just be like an hour and a half worth of material. But that would be kind of fun to make that available. Maybe I read it and then post it as a podcast or something. Let me work on that, you guys. Not like I have nothing better to do right now. Keto Clarity on audiobook was the first thing that got me started 2 years ago, says Shannon. Thank you for that. Yeah, thank you. I love audiobooks, and what was funny was when we released Cholesterol Clarity in 2013, people were like, where's the audiobook? And I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. Well, you're a podcaster. We know your voice. You need to read the audiobook. And so I go to my publisher. They didn't have any such mechanism in place to do an audiobook. I was their first one. Then Keto Clarity came out, and I'm like, well, okay, well, they're going to ask for an audiobook for this one too. So I went ahead and did it with that book. So I have the first 2 ever audiobooks with Victory Belt Publishing. And it was when audiobooks weren't really a big thing like they are now. They're really big now. People driving in their cars, they've got access to it on their phone because of the Audible app. And then all the Alexa and all these things play them. Yeah, it's the technology has advanced enough that it's a thing now. So thank you for that. I do enjoy reading books because when I read, I don't like to read just to make it sound like the first Keto Clarity concept is the foundation of which a ketogenic diet is based. Cutting carb intake. No, I don't do any of that. I talk like a normal person when I'm reading, and so at least I try to anyway. So. Can't wait for the cookbook. Thank you, Shannon. Pammy says, will you have opuses, I think you meant copies, of this book in Toronto in August when you're there? I'd love to get a signed copy when we see you at the conference, if I can wait that long. So why don't you do this? Get the book now, and then bring it with you when you come to the conference. I'll be happy to sign any book that you bring to the conference, Pammy. She says, copies, not opuses. Damn autocorrect. Yeah, exactly. Shannon says, it looks sharp. Thank you. Keto for Real Life People would love to spotlight a recipe from this cookbook. So my publisher generally gives us a release of that. Direct message me here on Instagram, and I'll try to arrange for you, Keto for Real Life People, to have access to that. This is a next level game changer for anyone who wants to simplify keto. Thank you for that. I stopped counting macros a long time ago, says Ashton. So yeah, if you joined us late, one of the controversial parts of my brand new book, Keto Clarity Cookbook, KetoClarityCookbook.com, is my co-author Heather Russian and I made the executive decision that for the first time, we're not putting any macros in a keto cookbook. And it's by design. We also explain very thoroughly why in the book. Counting macros is such a hindrance and stressor for so many, keeps it stress-free, and that's the key for me. Yes. Kimberly says it's a wonderful book, very well written with easy to follow recipes. I'll be making at least one recipe a week. Yeah, so here's the thing. If you get the book, post about it on social media if you like what I do. And if you're sitting here staring at me on Instagram Live, you must like what I do. So thank you. And if you post any, or if you cook any foods out of there, show the recipes, show the finished product on your page as well. That's always fun for an author that does a recipe book, people making the recipes. So be sure you tag at Living Low Carb Man, that's me, and at Heather's Real Food. Heather's Real Food is my co-author, Heather Russian. Berkeley says, I'm not bashful. I do try to encourage stores to carry things. Don't want them to go away. Yeah, that's true. I'm a very blessed man because I've had many of my books have great success. And so because of that, I see them in stores all the time. And especially when I go into those stores and I'm like, hey, I'm the author of this book. And they just think they've met Tom Cruise or something. It's hilarious. It looks fresh. Thank you for that. Appreciate that. It is very fresh. Hello, Shearston. Thanks for being here. Mine comes tomorrow, says Di. Awesome. Wish I could go to that Canadian conference. Congrats on being the MC. Yeah, they were looking for somebody that had experience leading a conference. And I'm like, well, I've done the low carb cruise for 12 years now. And I've done many leading panels and discussions. So I took a chance on this big boy. All right. Will you be at KetoCon, says Tony. If yes, will you sign my book if I see you? I'm actually doing a book signing with Dr. Ken Berry and Christine, my wife, Christine. So we'll have Dr. Ken Berry's book, Lies My Doctor Told Me, or Lies, I always mess up his book title. Lies My Doctor Told Me. That's the book. I think it is. Anyway, Christine's book is the one she co-authored with me, Real Food Keto, and then I'll have copies of Keto Clarity Cookbook. So that's at the Book People in Austin, Texas, on next Thursday. So today's Tuesday, so 9 days from today, we'll be at Book People in Austin, Texas. The three of us doing a joint book signing. We'll have a talk beforehand at 7 p.m. So because it's the night before KetoCon starting, it's going to be a packed house. I did a joint book signing with the Keto Connect guys, Matt and Mega, last year at that exact same store. So it'll be a lot of fun. Should come out to that, and I'll be happy to autograph. But if you're at KetoCon and you have a copy, just find me. I'll be walking around the floor. We'll be there all day Friday and most of the day Saturday before leaving out on Saturday night. Can't wait to order this. Thank you, Mama Ors. Brittany says, I'm trying to figure out which book I don't have. You've written 9 and I have 7 of them. I must find the other 2. So the first 2 were both self-published, Brittany. And so you might not know about 21 Life Lessons from Living La Vida Low Carb. That's the one that I did 10 years ago when I was just starting to really catapult on the scene. And my podcast at that point had several hundred episodes, and I had kind of gained a reputation for doing really good interviews. And so I did a self-published book that you can buy on Amazon. It's called 21 Life Lessons from Living La Vida Low Carb. The first one I don't want to tell you about because it's horrible. It was with a really bad self-publishing imprint. It was about my weight loss story, and I've moved on from focusing so much on weight loss that I don't really talk about it anymore. But it's also available on Amazon. If you type in my name, you're going to find that book too. I'd love to be at that book signing, but most likely won't be able to until really late on Thursday. Well, we'll see you there, Brittany, at the event itself. So, all right, guys, so that's it. Keto Clarity Cookbook is out today, and the crowd goes wild. Okay, that's lame, but that's me. Go get it, you guys. Thank you so much for all of your support. I tell people, I give a lot of content away. And that's by design. I don't think the information, and there's people out there that do think it, but I don't think the information needs to be charged for every little moment, all along the way. There are people that they see keto and they see, oh my gosh, I'm going to have to charge you to hear this and see that. No, I think that's stupid. The people that care about you in the keto community are the ones that give. And they happen to release a book every once in a while. And if you like all the giving that they've given, then the way you give back is you go buy their book. So that's what I'm asking you today. If you love what I offer here on Jimmy Rants, when I do the videos here, or any of my podcasts, or any of the content that you get value out of, here is how you can show your support for all of that. I literally don't have any other, quote, products to sell you. And again, by design, I don't need to sell you products. I need to give you information, and I need to be real with you, and I always am. So do me a favor, get a copy of Keto Clarity Cookbook. Again, it's in Barnes & Noble, Books A Million, wherever books are sold, Amazon, of course. But tell people about it as well. That will really help out authors like me and Heather, especially Heather being a first-time author. You just don't know how valuable it is for you to just share. If you just share and tell people about it, people don't know what they don't know. And so if you need good quality resources, Jimmy Moore don't write bad books. So go get Keto Clarity Cookbook. All right, I'm done marketing, but I wanted to share this with you guys today. And I appreciate all of the support you've given me. I really do. So, all right, guys, until the next time, we'll see you then.